How's it going, guys? My name is Luis and this is Gaming Hot Takes, a new series I want to start on this channel and sort of experiment with. It's a series where I'll pretty much give my gaming hot take on a current news event, a rumor, or a general topic that I just want to talk about. I thought it'd be a cool way to talk about current events while also just differentiating the content on this channel, the previews and the reviews, and a good way for you guys to get to know what I'm thinking about in terms of gaming stuff. If you want to submit your own type of topic or question, you can leave it in the comments down below or in a previous episode once we have a series built up, or on Twitter at Luis_GVN. This episode is talking about the PlayStation 5 and all the PS5 rumors coming out this week. This week, Semi-Accurate posted some very early rumors on the PS5, and much like the name of the website suggests, they have a track record of being semi-accurate. In the past, they've reported the Nintendo and Nvidia partnership that would become the Nintendo Switch, the early specs for the PS4, and the mid-console generation that would eventually become the PS4 Pro and the Xbox One X. Now, something that you should take note of is that this website uses a subscription-based model, and it actually hid this PS5 article behind a paywall that was pretty much $1,000 per year, which, you know, it sounds exactly how it sounds. Luckily, the folks over at Resetera summarized the article for us to discuss, and I'll be giving my 2 cents on pretty much every point given. The original article stated that the PS5 would use a GPU based on the upcoming AMD Navi architecture with a custom Zen CPU. Now that sounds pretty accurate when you compare it to the GPU architecture roadmap set out by AMD. The extra added GPU, and I personally think, which is more important, the CPU, should offer a more refined version of what you're seeing on the Xbox One X with better frame rate performance. An interesting note is Mark Cerny, who is the lead architecture for the PS4, probably going to be the same one for the PS5, did an interview with AV Watch back in 2016 during the launch of the PS4 Pro, where he pretty much laid out the rules for what he thinks would provide a native 4K picture in terms of gaming. In the interview, Mark was talking about the PS4 Pro's near 4K resolutions at 4.2 teraflops, and that he estimated that the native 4K picture with a decent performance would at least need 8 teraflops of performance power. In comparison to the Xbox One X, which typically ranges from a performance of 1800p to native 4K with frame rates ranging between 30 to 60 FPS, that has 6 teraflops of power. My guess would be that the PS5 uses a chipset that performs somewhere between 8 to 8.5 teraflops, sort of a refinement of the Xbox One X performing at more frequent 4K to 60 frames per second, offering essentially a more stable version of the One X with better performance in terms of other upgrades, maybe like RAM and other system features. Sure, the Xbox One X can do that with games like Forza, but the CPU bottleneck on the system is killing it for games like Sea of Thieves and Far Cry 5, both of which offer 4K native picture but are capped at 30 frames per second. If you currently own an Xbox One X and PUBG Early Access for the Xbox, I think that's the best presentation or example of the CPU bottleneck. It's 4K picture, but the bottleneck is severe on the game. It could also be that, you know, it's an early access game, but it's a very, very rough early access game right now. The next point of the article says that there's a large amount of dev kits out already for developers, and I'm a little bit skeptical on this one. While yes, I think there are dev kits out there and possibly in large numbers, I think it's a large group of dev kits given out to a small group of big developers, rather than a large group of dev kits given out to a large group of developers. The first year of games for the PS4 was rather slow, with heavy support on multi-platform games. It certainly was pretty weak when you compare it to something like the Nintendo Switch's first year, which ironically the system came out in March because of how they were trying to schedule software for the first year, so it actually ended up working out in their favor. Sony definitely wants a strong first year this time around, and I wouldn't be surprised if we see Death Stranding and Last of Us Part 2 end up being cross-generation games that come out for PS4 but look better and play better on PS5. The author of the article also suggested that the PS5 could still come out in 2018, and I think that's just complete BS. With the Navi architecture hardware coming out late this year or maybe even early next year, I don't see PS5 coming out until late 2019, maybe even early 2020. If the console was coming out this year, we'd certainly hear about it by now. I mean, remember the PS4? That was revealed back in February 2013 and released that same year in November. If anything, I see the reveal for this thing happening this time next year, possibly hinted at a little bit earlier, but then the actual thing wouldn't come out till holiday next year, maybe early 2020 if they pull a Nintendo. The last piece of information from the article suggests that, quote, VR goodies are being baked in at the silicon level. Now that could be interpreted in a number of different ways, but the way I see it is that they're probably just putting the microprocessing unit, the box that's currently attached to the PSVR, inside the PS5 in terms of an architecture level or hardware level. Something to cut down on the setup time for PSVR and make it much more convenient to set up and use. That's the most surprising thing to me about this article, because even though Sony is leading the gaming VR market right now in terms of just market share, I don't think VR has really hit its stride yet. PS5 just might be the stepping stone it needs though. But that's just my gaming hot take on the current PS5 rumors. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. If you think they're real, there's some BS to it, if there's partial credit, let me know in the comments down below. You can also suggest episodes or topics for future episodes, or what you think of the series so far in the comments, or hit me up on Twitter at Luis_GVN. Thank you all very much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, drop it a like, subscribe, hit that bell icon because I think you have to now in order to get notifications from YouTube. And thank you all very much for watching. I'll see you all in the next one. Bye.